What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Castle TV show. As you can see, I'm out of the studio. However, I wanted to do a quick review on Black Widow. Marvel, you should have made the movie before she died. Okay, so let's start with the good. Scarlett Johansson is a great actress, and she can definitely play a lead role. She has proven that in this movie. The music, it's okay. It's not the best. They could have definitely did some. I feel like they're trying to make her overly badass in this movie with the overhyped music. Instead of just using regular, MCU music or anything, or maybe like a Spider-Man movie, it's too much. In some parts, and when you watch it, you're gonna be like, okay, this is too much. It feels like I'm playing a Destiny game where there's nothing going on, but the music is super hyped up, and you're like, okay, it's not that cool. Okay, she's not John Wick. So it starts off in the beginning of this movie. She doesn't really want to fight. She doesn't want to be in the fight. And you'd think they'd go more into her being the spy, and her backstory. But it feels like that they just put this movie together, and they're just like, oh, these people want a backstory for Black Widow, so hurry up and put one together, except now that she's dead in the movie, and in the show, and in Avengers. But, hey guys, here's a movie. And I don't know, because she's a girl, and you know how a lot of these people are like, well, a lot of these white males don't like to take these women lead roles and watch them. Hello, Tomb Raider. Everyone liked Tomb Raider. And Flux, Resident Evil. These are all great shows. Now, some of them are a little bit weird. Underworld. I freaking loved Underworld. And what I think they're doing is the writer wants to, create and be like, oh, yes, see, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, can be as powerful as Iron Man or John Wick, or what they do is it's too much. It's too much, okay? What they need to do is focus more on creating a badass storyline and let the character evolve. Starting off, and she's running around, and she's just like, oh, I don't want to be in this. And then they have to keep pulling her into it, and like, well, this is personal, you should do something. And they have to convince her. It's like, no, this girl should already be a badass, or it should at least transition to why she was a spy, and then how she became a badass. In the freaking Avengers, we just see her always kicking ass, and we're just like, oh, she's always been a badass. But it doesn't really give you that aspect. I mean, there's a little bit, and it kind of explains it just a tiny little bit. But you're just like this is it. This is the movie we've been waiting like 6 years for. This is the movie. And I think they just, instead of focusing more on, what happened, or how she became more part of the MCU. They could even had I don't know, Iron Man come in, or Hulk or something. This movie is just a disaster. The writing was a disaster. The plot was a disaster. The villain, I felt like they took cues from DC, like they took one of the DC writers and brought him over. Now, DC does have some good movies. However, most of their superhero movies suck. And this Marvel movie it didn't live up to the hype. It's not good. So it's pretty much her and her friend. They're inside this car, and all this stuff starts happening to her. And eventually, she starts figuring out that people are after her, and she actually has to start fighting and not stop. And she has to stop hiding. And then we don't even get to see the villain till like halfway through the movie because imagine if we actually did some scenes with the villain and actually had a build up to the movie. Instead, it's this dull, boring movie and they just try hyping, Scarlett Johansson's character up, and you're sitting there, just watching the movie, and you're like, okay, eventually this is gonna make sense, or eventually this is gonna get good because it's a Marvel movie, and eventually there's gonna be something there. We're like 40, 50 minutes into it before we even see like the villain, and I'm just like, should I stay in the movie theater any longer? Should I just leave? Is this even worth watching? Now, I had to give it to Scarlett Johansson. Her acting is very on key. She reacts definitely to her moments when she has them. She just does a really good job. She's just a good actress. And, it's not her fault that, the director and the writers are shit. It's not her fault. She was perfect in every, the Avengers. She was great. And Iron Man 2, she was good in. So it's not her acting. So, I mean, if you're going to go watch this movie, at least go and watch it to support her. She's not a bad person, and she's, she never tries isolating anyone when it comes to her movies. She's like, this movie's only for this kind of race and this kind of gender. Like Brie Larson, right? So she's a good actress. She seems like she's a pretty decent person. I would go and watch this movie just to go and support her. She can get somewhat of good ratings. I mean, if you support Scarlett Johansson or whatever. But I'm definitely not going to go watch a movie because they're trying to push like an agenda or something. I'm like, oh, you have to watch this movie because she's a woman. It's like, no, I like watching movies because they're good. I don't care if it's a guy. I don't care if they took out freaking Keanu Reeves and John Wick if it started off as a woman, right? Say they started off with Halle Berry and then John Wick was like, the featured role or whatever, or they came in as the second lead. I'm like, still a good movie, the girl kicks ass. I like it. It has nothing to do with male or female. What it has to do is the story good? Is there good acting? Does the plot make sense? Is there action throughout the whole movie? Or is there just action in like the ending has like 3 minutes? Like Wonder Woman. People are like, Wonder Woman's so good! Oh, she didn't even fight the villain until like the end of the movie. What are you talking about? That movie was good. The movie sucked, okay? It was just her on an island the whole time. She finally figures out how to get off, and then she fights the villain at the end, and there's like 3 minutes of them fighting, and like, that's it! Wonder Woman's over! What's number 2? No! And again, like, it has nothing to do with them being a woman. It just has everything to do with good storytelling. Shazam, good. I mean, he was fighting, and that was a DC movie, by the way. He was fighting, and he actually had, sidekicks that came in there, and it actually didn't ruin the movie at all. It actually added on to it. But it was good because they had the storytelling, there was constant action, there was funny scenes, and you know what? This movie does have some funny scenes. Some of them you're just like, eh. Okay, they're pushing that a little too far, but, some of the jokes are pretty funny, and then there's some lines in there you're just like, really? I mean, what do you guys? What is this, like a B movie, a C movie? So is the movie worth watching? I think if you already watched all the Marvel movies, the Spider-Man, the Wolverine, X-Men, if you already seen all the Marvel movies. Captain America, Captain Marvel. If you already seen them all, I mean, why not go and watch this? I mean, Scarlett Johansson is a kick-ass female. She has a good sense of humor. Um, so I mean, I'd say go watch it. Is this gonna get like movie of the year? I mean, only if like they pay the people. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the best, like they did The Last of Us. There's no way this movie's gonna get the movie of the year, and that's unfortunate. Like I said, because I do like Scarlett Johansson, and that'd be kind of cool, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what happens when you get bad writers and directors. That's just how the movie is. So go watch it. If you already seen it, let me know. If you haven't, don't put any spoilers in the comments or anything, because people probably still want to go see this movie. And since we're getting out of COVID or whatever, it's probably a good time to go out and enjoy yourself. So it's a good movie to go chill. Go bring a loved one, maybe a friend or whatever. Go grab some popcorn, enjoy the movie. And you know what? It's not a terrible movie. You're not going to walk out of the movie and be like, oh man, I can't believe I wasted my $10 on this stupid movie. The movie's like, it's alright. It's okay. They should have made this like 7 years ago, before she died, and people are like, Black Widow who? Black Widow what? Black Widow when? She came back to life? I'm so confused. I thought she died. No, she's back. No, they really said, no, she's dead. Just kidding. I don't know what Thanos did or who did it, but somebody did it. Anyways, go watch the movie. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned for another review. Hopefully we'll be back in the studio next time. We were supposed to do a car review. Never got around to that. I've just been so busy doing other things right now. Trying to get in some movies myself, but we'll see how that works out. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you for another review.